I've said that culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's a quote from some famous person. But more importantly, I think culture eats strategy for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and every single snack in between, at least for me. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if the culture of your organization doesn't support that strategy, then there's no way you can succeed. The next aspect is one about organizational structure. Brian Solis has this concept of what he calls the frozen middle, which I like a lot. The frozen middle refers to the layer of the organization that is just below the executive level, that is very focused on delivering quarterly results, day-to-day improvements, working within budgets, and dealing with a whole bunch of other issues. And this layer of middle management is quite often blamed for the lack of innovation in organizations. I believe that this is really unfair because we do need to keep in mind that this is the part of the organization that is being asked to both juggle the short-term as well as longer-term priorities. It's much easier said than done. And therefore, rather than just flog this group and asking them for more innovation and for them to step out of their conventional boundaries and think of the future, I feel it's the responsibility of leadership to create an environment where the middle management in an organization, referred to here as the frozen middle, needs to be unfrozen. How do you do it? You need to offer mid-career security. You need to create programs and projects that enable and support people to go try something new. You've got to provide a healthy dose of outside-in exposure, and you need to allow them to take some time away from operational issues and focus on the future. You need to enable them to take time away from just being focused on budgets and quarterly deliverables and think a little bit more blue sky. Doing both of these, i.e., focusing on diversity and also working with those in the middle layers of the organization and freeing them up a little bit will really help drive innovation in your organizations. This has been my experience in the past, and I find that when leaders take bold steps towards doing both of these, the innovation pipeline begins to fill up and it gets to be a more exciting place. It gets noticed internally and it gets noticed externally, first by your customers and then by your competition. At Vodafone, we already have a good starting point. We have powerful platforms in M-Pesa that's changing tens of millions of lives all across Africa. We have a platform in IoT for connectivity that is the largest IoT platform in the world, and it continues to grow. We have a growing platform in TV, and we have several others in the pipeline. Building the platforms is much more than about technology. It's actually about building the ecosystems around it. It's about partnering. It's about working with developer ecosystems. And it's about building an architecture that allows different kinds of users, different personas, depending on their need to come in and interact with that platform, contribute to that platform, and take away from that platform in a way that is very unique to their needs and their situation. It's about a culture where we innovate constantly, that we're open to ideas from all sources, from our customers, from our frontline employees, from our partners, the startup ecosystem, our vendors, and so on. And quite often, the most powerful innovations are when we can bring these various constituents together to create joint outcomes that will benefit all of us. Over the last few years, we've very rapidly built up a bigger bench of software engineers. However, when we look at the future and we look at what we really need to achieve, and given the ambitions that we have, that bench will probably have to double or quadruple, maybe even in size. So it's not just about having software engineers, it's also having a software mindset. And so the way our product teams, our sales teams, our customer experience teams, our service teams think about opportunities and solutions needs to be more software oriented. We need to be thinking, how can we use software to solve the big problems and to create new opportunities? And finally, it's about adopting an agile way of working across the whole business. In order to get the kind of speed that we want, in order to optimize the resources that we have, and to deliver outcomes to our customers at the pace they want, it is important for us to work in an agile way. Agile is used fairly widespreadly in Vodafone. We have it across the business. And I've learned a lot from the experience, but now it's important for us to ensure that we roll out Agile in everything that we do.